Hey kids, Adam here. Welcome to the bass riff of the month for February. I know I said in January's riff that I was going to get this in before the last couple days of the month, but unfortunately ran out of time in the month and I'm going on vacation the last week, so I have to record this and get it set up and send it out as soon as I can, which will probably be the last couple days of the month. Anyway, this riff is in B flat. It is on my precision bass. It's a fairly straightforward, as you heard, fingerstyle riff. Not doing anything fancy, no slapping, no crazy stuff like that. But there are a couple things that I do in this riff that are kind of key parts of my bass playing that I've learned, and slide riffs and things like that. I figured it would be a good riff to show you. It's 102 beats per minute if you want to keep track, but I will definitely slow it down and show you what's going on with it. So this is what I call, I don't even know what I call this, but this is kind of like a standard riff for me, not in that what I'm playing, but in the format. So you have this, basically the riff is this. It would be a verse or a chorus or a bridge or a solo section or something to a song, more in the funk style that I do, but it's this riff, and then I added some fills to it. So when I'm playing this in a band, I wouldn't do the fills the exact same way I played it in the opening or the way I'm going to show you. It would be more of that straightforward, and then every fourth time or something I'll throw a riff in, or maybe do something cool with the guitar, do something with the drums. But this is kind of how I write riffs. I write a main structure, and then I write kind of open-ended insert riff here parts to do. So let's go over this one. It starts on B flat. I did this on purpose because I didn't want to do just a normal riff in E or any open string, and I'll show you why in a second. It starts out with the root, the octave, and then the seventh. So it's all 16th notes. So think of like a Rocco Prestia from Tower of Power. What is hip, That's the kind of feel you want in here, but there's accents all over the place and there's different things. So you want to keep that feel in mind, but there's also a lot of things that are happening off the beat. So to start out, we're doing 16th notes on the low B flat and then to the high B flat. And then this note, when I always go to this, it's like a cutoff note. So I'm snapping that seventh here, and then when we go down to the so I'm kind of I'm overemphasizing it here, but that's a kind of snap that I do. So once you get to the seventh, it goes back down to the fourth. So it's, and what I'm doing there is I'm doing 16th notes again on the E flat. And actually it's all 16th notes, but I'm doing a plucking on the E flat and the E, and then I'm hammering on the F. So it's, and I'm not plucking there. So that's the main part of the riff, and I'm just moving down one whole step for the second part of the riff. But I'll show you something here cool. Wait, what did I do there? You'll notice I hit an open E. Now E and B flat don't go together well. That sounds horrible. But in a riff like this, or if you're doing a slap riff or it's a ghost note or anything, you can throw in the open E as long as you're not sustaining it, and it sounds like it's just fine. I mean, technically, this would be better. Which I can't even do. Or a low E flat. But since we're just doing it for just a split second, it's almost just like a ghost note here that's not played. Having the open E here is fine, and I use that in another place in the riff, and we'll get to that in a second. So let's go back to the beginning. And that's the riff. Let's get into the second half of it, and we'll get into the fills. But first, let's play this a couple different speeds. Let me slow it way down, and I'll get it up to the speed. So this is essentially the first half of the riff. And then a little bit faster. And that's basically as fast as it is. This one is only 102 beats per minute. It's 16th notes, so you can slow it way down. You can speed it up, however you like to play it. Let's go on to the second half, and this is where the fills are. So, second half of this starts with the same thing, and then we do the first fill. I do this a lot. It's all in the same, root position. It's just, I'm doing a, let's see, so I'm plucking the first two notes, and then I hammer on the second, and then plucking the rest of them. Now, I do use a raking technique, so I'm using the same finger, going down a scale like that. It doesn't matter what you do as long as you play the notes. So let's do it again. Another fill coming up, but let's do this one again one more time. I'll do it super slow. Leave me a comment if you have any questions. You can use your third or your fourth finger here. It depends on on your strength of your hand. This position higher up the neck, I tend to use my third. If I was doing this, I would do it probably the fourth finger down there, but since we're up here, I'm using the third. So the next riff is like an octave slidey thing. I'll play it more in the same tempo that the riff is in after we do the and we're back to the beginning. Let me slow that way down. So we first have the setup, which is the E flat and the D flat, and then we go to the octave. So I'm hitting the open E, hammering on the A flat, plucking the octave, plucking the A flat again, and sliding to the A, hitting the octave, hitting the A again, plucking it, and then sliding up to the B. And finger-wise, whatever works best for you. Sometimes I end up doing with a single finger. Sometimes I end up with the first on the low and the second finger up on the octave. It just depends on what's going on at the time. I don't even actually think about it. It just kind of happens. So once more. Super slow. So that second half of the phrase is and then when I slide up to the B, I don't have to pluck all of the 16th notes, then I can just go and pluck the last three. Let's go from the beginning again. So before, when I said the fills were in the second half of the riff, it's actually the second half of the first part of the riff. So a lot of musicians will speak in parts and not necessarily measures. So we will have a phrase that's either 4 or 8 or sometimes 2 measures. We call that once. We do it once, and then we do that 4 times in a phrase, and we don't say it's 16 measures or 32 or 64 or 128. We just say it's 4 times. So when I have this riff, I have 2 parts of it, but each part is in half. So this is one half of the first half of the first part of the riff. This is the second half of the first part of the riff. And And then now we're on the second part of the riff. The first half of the second part of the riff, try to follow me here, is the exact same as the first part. It's the second half goes in this crazy fill. And I like to do this. I like to do fills across a measure where I can then, maybe have the drummer pick up into a drum fill with me. And I have kind of a cheap beat here, an easy drummer, where it kind of happened, but the best I could do under short notice. I am not a drummer. I do not have access. There's a kit back here, but don't worry about that. There's nothing to see back here, folks. For the sake of this, I just wanted to play something, and then if we ever do it in a band, the drummer can figure out what he wants to do on his own. So, the second half of the second part of the riff, or the second half of the riff. So second half of the second half. Isn't that Iron Maiden song? No, that's something else. This gets kind of crazy. I will play it and then slow it down for you. All right, let's try to go through this really slowly. It's one of these feel riffs for me, so to slow it down and to try to teach it slow is going to be difficult. Bear with me, and we'll get you there. We'll get you there note at a time. All right, so we start with the same octave, what I call like the setup part. So that part. Then we get into the crazy fill thing. It's all 16th notes, but there are some string crossing and there's some back and forth and barring and stuff. So what I'm doing here is I'm plucking the A flat twice and then hammering on the B flat. So just 3 notes. And then I'm going up to this D flat, back to the B flat. And we'll do this like a note at a time because this is probably the best way to teach you how to do this. I'm also doing a kind of a weird bar thing here I want to show you. So. Now the easiest way to do this is because I'm doing it slow, I'm kind of exaggerating what I'm doing with my hand. If you hammer on your third finger here, keep it there, play the high D flat, and then go back to the B flat with keeping in there. Then kind of just take the finger, and I can show you this up close. Take the finger here and just kind of flatten it out, and that way you'll be on both the B flat and the E flat, and then let go of it, but you're leaving it on the B flat. That makes sense? Hopefully it makes sense. I don't have any other way else to describe what I do. You could do but your fingers are kind of flailing around. And when you play it faster, you want to be able to get your fingers out of there and out of the way. So it's when you're really going faster, it's let's get on the rest of the riff before this video is 2 hours long. Which it's okay, never mind. So I gotta admit, I've been struggling here for a while, trying to figure out how to teach this the best. I'm a bass player. I'm not a teacher, and this is an interesting struggle for me, but I'm gonna keep doing it because I promised 12 riffs in the year, and we're gonna do it. It actually helps me break down my playing to figure out exactly what I'm doing here. So I like to break these things down into little segments. And the timing here is kind of weird. Let's not worry about how this fits into the timing. We'll just get the notes here. So this first part we've been working on. And then we go back down to this F here. So I do this a lot where I will, that kind of thing. Now I'm not doing all chromatic on the D string here, but when I get to the A string I am. So, and then we go to the F, back to the B flat, A flat, sorry, and then we're going to go chromatic down the F, E, E flat. So. And then I like to do a lot of shifts on either my third finger going up the scale or the first finger going down the scale. And this one is going to be the first finger going down the scale. So after we do the F A flat, F, E, E flat, I'm going to slide back down to the D flat. So. And you don't have to pluck that, it's just a slide. And then I do the same thing going down to the B flat. And that's all chromatic. And notice I'm using the fourth finger here because I get a little bit more strength using the fourth kind of and the third as a backup. Go back up to the F. That's all just chromatic right there. Use my third finger to make it easier for you to see. So let's go back to the beginning of this riff. Super slow. And when you're playing this super fast, it's going to be there's going to be other stuff going on. Guitar will probably, play a little bit, crescendo coming in the next phrase. The drummer will probably come in. It's going to come in on a cymbal crash. You don't have to get notes like perfectly crystal clear like I just played them, but you want to make sure that your hands are in sync so you're not, flailing all over the place and not catching up. So let's do that whole phrase, which is the second half of the second part, with the setup notes and everything. And we'll do that here with the drums. So one more time, let's slow it down a little bit, kind of mid-tempo with no drums here. And you can find that there's certain notes you can emphasize. So it's not just like that through all the way, just robotic. You want to emphasize some of these accents to get you more in the groove and to get, locked in. So. I mean, I kind of did that totally excessively and it was weird to even play, but that's kind of the feel you want. You want this to be a feel type riff and not just a, go in the MIDI editor and put your 16th notes in and have it just sound completely robotic and typewriter-ish. So let's go to the beginning. I'll do this once real slow and then I'll speed it up and I'll do it with the drums and we'll call it a day. Here we go. Let's try it super slow. When I say that, I really mean it, but this may be fast. I mean, when you're learning a riff, I've been playing, a riff like this for months now, and I've practiced a lot of it in the last day or so to prepare for this video. And it's to play it slow. It should be something I can do. So make sure you play your riff slow, kids. And yeah, I tripped up a little bit on the riff at the end because it's harder to play that slow. To take me out of my misery here, let's do it a couple times with the drums, and you'll hear the click and everything, and here's how I do this. And actually, I played that one so well, I'm not going to do it again. If you want to hear it again, just rewind the last 30 seconds or so. All right, so that is the bass riff of the month for February 2023. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Is this something that you want to more of? Now you have one slap riff for January, and I'll put the link up here for that video. And then you have the fingerstyle riff for February. Which one do you like better? Which one would you like me to do more of? I'm trying to do different things, but I don't want to have like 12 riffs of everything. So that by the time I'm done, I'm doing, you know, like a slide whistle, or I don't even know how that's possible. But I'm going to do more fingerstyle. I'm going to do more slap. So don't worry if you missed it, or if you want something a little bit more of your style. I'm going to try to do a rock riff here and there, maybe a metal, probably not a metal. I may pull out a song that I did way back a million years ago, before probably many of you were born. But let me know what you think. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, leave me a like, leave me a comment, share it out, and all that kind of stuff. And until next time, keep playing the bass and riffing. And I don't have a tagline for the end of these videos, so I don't know what to say. I don't know. See ya.